Mm. Energy. We're giving energy. Even I don't have the energy to talk about this. Good morning. Hello. Hi. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie, and it's a gloomy November morning. I have my Starbucks vanilla latte, which I've never tried this version before, the iced espresso. And yeah, it's very early, and we are gonna have a little chat about The Other Side of Night by Adam Hamdy. That's nice. Okay, let's talk. The Other Side of Night by Adam Hamdy. Okay, this is a new release. I believe this was a September 2022 release. And this is a piece of genre fiction. Though I am struggling to really say what genre it is. Just a couple things based on the blurbs. It says, Hamdy has created a completely new crime genre. This says, from Stuart Turton, who wrote 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, he says, it's a big-hearted, big-brain novel that you'll finish in 3 days and think about for the rest of the year. Peter Swanson, who is a crime thriller author, he says, it's a thrilling novel with multiple tricks up its sleeve, has written a clever and moving concoction, and the one that I kind of gravitated towards, it says, mind-bending. This intriguing and thought-provoking thriller is a profound exploration of how far some are willing to go in the name of love, a fantastic twist you will never see coming. So I saw this book on the shelf at Barnes & Noble, and I was very drawn to the cover. And when I started reading the blurbs on the back, I was immediately intrigued. I didn't actually care that much about what the book was about, because when I opened to read the synopsis, there was yet another blurb from James Patterson that said I couldn't stop thinking about the story's incredible twist. So that's pretty much all I needed to pick up the book. So now let's chat. Did this deliver? As you can probably tell from the title of this video and the thumbnail, no. This did not deliver. This is hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about why I didn't enjoy this and also not give away the twist. But I will do my best. And one thing that I will say is that it spends the whole book making you think that the twist is going to be really clever, and it keeps referencing that there's going to be a twist, or not a twist, but like something important is going to be revealed. There's a secret that's going to be revealed, and that's like literally how they state it. Like they're like, there's a secret. Where to start with my issues with this book? I will say, to be honest, this is not the absolute worst thing that I've ever read. This is actually just a pretty average piece of genre fiction. I don't think it's any worse than there's one specific author that this really reminds me of, but even saying that author's name would give away a lot about this book, so I can't even say that. This is really hard to talk about without talking about spoilers. But the point is that I don't really think this is any worse than some really popular genre fiction writers out there. But that being said, it is certainly nothing extraordinary. I did read this very quickly. I read it in a day. But that was partially due to it has very short chapters, which I think just keeps the reading pace up. But also, the writing is so basic, and it's kind of you start to read a paragraph and you already know where the paragraph is going. You already know all of the thoughts that these characters are having because they're just so straightforward and typical. And a big gripe that I have is that Adam Hamdy, who I have honestly never heard of, and I've never read anything else from, so I this is all I have to go on. But he writes a female protagonist, and in my opinion, he does not do it well. Our protagonist is lovesick, and really her only quality is how in love she is with this guy. And I don't know, it just seems extremely unrealistic given the circumstances. And I just, as a woman myself, did not feel like she was a relatable character at all. And also, this is a thing that is a trope, and it keeps coming up in especially thrillers, is that you have a woman, typically like in her 30s or older, and she hasn't settled down. She may or may not be struggling with her job, but the main thing about her is that she's lonely. And that's like her entire character. That is so typical in thrillers, and it's honestly very aggravating to read. I want that trope to die. Because the thing is that this character is not even particularly clever. She's a detective, but the author is very unconcerned with her actually solving the big mystery and like figuring out the big secret, because he honestly believes that he's so clever that no one would be able to figure out the twist. And here's the thing. I did guess the twist very early on because he didn't do a good job of hiding it. So just the audacity that I felt this author had to write a character and like just be so uninterested in her actually like solving any part of the mystery. Like, she's really just there to be lovesick. And her detective work is just honestly not even important to the story. Like, she's actually there because of just circumstance alone. So to have all that and then like still have the audacity to be like, no one's gonna guess my twist, this is just like extremely silly. It's kind of dumb. There's a lot of things that don't make sense because the author is trying to hide his big twist. But in doing so, you just have character motivations and actions that just really don't make sense after you find out the twist. And that is not what a twist is supposed to do. A good twist is supposed to recontextualize everything that you've read and kind of provide reasoning for things that may have been unresolved. This twist just works against a lot of things, honestly. Because a lot of the choices that were made earlier, not only do they not really get like a proper reason, but it just they just don't make sense. The twist did not work in my opinion. I didn't think it was original, and I also didn't think that it was well written. So okay, do I have anything nice to say about this book? I really like the cover. I love the cover. I'm glad I didn't buy this for full price at Barnes & Noble. I'm glad I got it from the library. Anyway, that's all the energy that I'm going to put into this book. I read it in a day, and I've been talking to you for 12 minutes, so I think that's enough. Yeah, did not really enjoy this one, but I did want to talk about it because it is a fairly new release. It was, like I said, a September 2022 release, so it didn't work for me, and I think that if you are looking for something like this, there are a lot better options. So really quickly, I'm going to name the author that this book reminds me of. Again, once I name this author, it almost entirely reveals the twist. So I'm going to give some recommendations for books that I would read rather than this. If you don't want to hear this, goodbye. Thanks for listening. But if you do want to hear some recommendations that I would have that are not this book, here you go. So the author that this book reminded me of was a Blake Crouch novel. I, again, won't go into the specifics of the reveal or whatever, but just know if you've read Blake Crouch, you kind of understand what this might be. And while I don't even like Blake Crouch, he's really not my favorite, I think that at least his novels have some logic to them, and I do feel like his characters are at least, like, properly motivated. So if you're looking for a kind of a thriller with a sort of sci-fi element to it, I would recommend going to Blake Crouch or Andy Weir. I mean, not really the exact same thing, but a much better author. It's so hard to talk about without talking about what the twist is. But this is a new release, so I'm not going to. What I will say is, don't read this. Read Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this very chilly November morning in my sweater, and talking just a little bit about The Other Side of Night. If you have read this and you want to chat about it in the comments, please, let's have a chat. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a lovely rest of your day.